Stocks, Docks and Barrels. This morning's Big Business Recap.
Well, a tough week for cryptocurrencies. And as we speak, the price of Bitcoin is crashing, in fact. We were off the heels of what Elon Musk did on Twitter. His tweets saying that purchases of his Tesla cars using Bitcoin were going to be suspended due to concerns over the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining. That sent prices going down. But now we've got a double whammy here. Straight out of China, in fact, the country has banned financial institutions and payment companies from providing services related to cryptocurrency transactions. China has also warned investors against speculative crypto trading. So under this ban, institutions, including banks and online payment channels, must not offer clients any service involving cryptocurrency, including registration, trading, clearing, and settlement, according to 3 industry bodies in the country. And according to their joint statement, quote, "Recently, cryptocurrency prices have skyrocketed and plummeted, and speculative trading of cryptocurrency has rebounded, seriously infringing on the safety of people's property and disrupting the normal economic and financial order."
Well, this just happens to be the latest chapter of China tightening the noose around cryptocurrencies in general. We've seen a notice posted on PBOC's official WeChat account saying that virtual currencies should not and cannot be used in the market because they're not real currencies. Financial and payments institutions are not allowed to price products or services with virtual currency, according to this note. And Beijing, ever since 2017, has abolished initial coin offerings and clamped down on virtual currency trading within its borders. That forced many exchanges overseas as well. And the country was once home to about 90% of trades, but the lion's share of mining and major players have since fled abroad. But recently, China has taken steps to issue its own digital yuan, and it seeks to replace cash and maintain control over a payments landscape that has become increasingly dominated by technology companies, not regulated like banks. So according to the CEO for APAC at Saxo Markets, he said it comes to no surprise as Chinese capital controls can be challenged by cryptocurrency purchases in the country and transfers out of the country. So avoiding use of them in the countries is essential to maintaining capital controls as well. So the only tolerable digital currency to a government with strong capital controls is their own CBDC.
Yeah, and this complete ban as well is largely attributed to its volatility as well. They said that the prices have skyrocketed and plummeted, and speculative trading of cryptocurrency has rebounded, seriously infringing on the safety of people's property and disrupting the normal economic and financial order. China has banned crypto exchanges and initial coin offerings, but has not barred individuals from holding cryptocurrencies. That's a little bit interesting as well. And the institutions must not provide saving, trust, or pledging services of cryptocurrency, nor issue any financial products related to cryptocurrency as per their statement. Yeah. And this is going to be interesting for sure. But I think on a personal level as well, if you look at the price, the way it's been plummeting, $40,000 now for a Bitcoin, and it was only at the start of the month.
150,000 dirhams?
Yes.
For one Bitcoin,
yeah,
I believe.
And it was 60,000. It was touching the value of 60,000 at the start of the month.
Big drop.
And you're thinking, is it even a safe haven?
Well, yeah, that is the thing. There are a slew of factors that makes Bitcoin a far riskier investment than the traditional alternatives. So there are some key Bitcoin risks to weigh in, whether you're considering wading in for the first time or have already placed your Bitcoin bets. And that the first one tops, for sure, it is the volatility risk, for sure. That is the first factor to keep in mind. The price of Bitcoin is prone to wild swings, and the market is extremely sensitive to news and new developments, which causes frequent and volatile upswings and downdrafts in the digital currency's price. And also, there's also another factor, that is loss of demand risk, because as a relatively new product and technology, Bitcoin may be some way from widespread acceptance. So the demand and usage of Bitcoin, they are beholden to the underlying technology as well. And that technology needs to first get to a place where it can be trusted by large risk averse retail investors and other institutions. And now we know that who lost the trust in this was Elon Musk, the one that was actually praising it, now kind of is staying away from Bitcoin. Another factor is cybersecurity risk. So you can see attacks from hackers. They have caused millions of dollars worth of losses in stolen digital tokens, including Bitcoin. So Bitcoin didn't exclude out of that list. Also, regulatory risk. Now, we've seen also increased regulation of Bitcoin. It could have implications for the future use of digital currencies altogether. And of course, we have another factor, that is the transaction fees risk. All Bitcoin transactions, they must be verified by Bitcoin miners who collect fees for each confirmation. So if miners can manage to collude and demand higher transaction fees, they could dampen the attractiveness of the Bitcoin network for users as well. And of course, we have other factors like the internet risk. We have the ownership concentration risk. That's also another major one. And the transfer error risk, because it's a digital currency, and loss of private keys risk. So, and the list goes on.
Yeah, that's a lot of risks, in fact. And if you speak to crypto analysts, look, they're pretty divided on this and what this crash bodes for the future. But some arguments include the fact that, hey, look, okay, it's crashing right now. We might even see 30,000 soon, and it'll be a question of if we're going to see 10,000 to 20,000. And we might be back in 2017 again, where Bitcoin crashed so hard. But there's a sense of optimism. In 2024, there's going to be an event called halving. So the Bitcoin halving is when the reward for mining Bitcoin transactions is cut in half, and usually that results in a surge in the price. So a lot of people are looking at the price going down, and they see that as an opportunity, in fact, to buy Bitcoins at a lower price. So the question is, for those people who are fans of Bitcoin, is when do we buy it? How low is it going to get? Because we want to buy it at its lowest and then wait for the next bubble where the price surges up and then sell at that moment as well. So a lot of people are still weighing that in. And yes, they say despite the fact that Elon Musk has expressed those sentiments recently, and so did China, there's still an entrance of big, heavy institutions that may not go away anytime soon in the future as well. So people might be seeing what's happening now as an opportunity. But yes, a risky one indeed, as Rania phrased it.
Yeah, certainly. We're looking forward to seeing what happens with the world of Bitcoin. It is no longer the biggest safe haven, but if the price does rebound, it'll be a very interesting, dramatic reaction for sure.
So now you feel probably better that you didn't jump on the bandwagon, right?
It's still up. I mean, when I was told about it,
trying to talk him out of it, and it's just not working.
It is. I mean, it's 18,000. When I was first looked at it, it was $18,000 a Bitcoin, and I was told, look, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's still double that amount. You know, and this is what Bitcoin enthusiasts will still defend. Because the big question mark is, obviously, it all happened after Elon Musk's reaction, and the institutional investors have decided to move or have to fluctuate. But you got to take things with a bit of a thicker lens, because how is it that a person so invested in clean energy technology or electric vehicles did not know that Bitcoin is environmentally expensive?
Exactly.
Maybe he did.
He did. Is there something else in the drama? Did someone encourage him to say these statements and then retract?
I think so.
You're onto something.
Yeah, you know, there is something going on in the behind the curtains that we don't know.
For sure.
And this is where you've got to be very, very careful indeed, because it will only take one more turnaround from Mr. Bill Gates to say, you know what, all the money I've got, I'm going to invest it now in
What's
Bitcoin.
left of his money?
What's left of his money as well. So.
Yeah, those divorces tend to be hefty.
Yeah,
They do.
so it could be anything. Maybe Jeff Bezos will join the party as well. You never know.
I'm sure they have a meeting right now.
Yeah,
They're
sure. And then maybe
crying.
former president will
they're
join
crying
in.
together right now.
Never know. Never know. Maybe the U.S.
Bezos is like, I've been there before, man. Let me tell you
Yeah.
about what happened to me. Come.
Yeah.
It's okay, just lose a couple billion, it's fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's okay. It's
No biggie.
Pocket change anyway. But you never know. Well, stay with us on the Morning Majlis. We shall return right after more musical entertainment here on Pulse 95. And up next, what should we talk about? Should we talk about the Lost Panther? Or should we talk about the variants in India?
The Lost Panther is pretty wild.
Let's have a look at what's happening with the Lost Panther now. Stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis, only on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
The Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
Welcome back onto the program. The big news emerging from yesterday. The third dose of COVID-19 as a booster will be made available. Now, this is coming off the back of the thoughts of Dr. Farida Al-Husseini, the spokeswoman for the state's health sector, praised the public for their support for the mass inoculation campaign. She said that the widespread uptake of vaccines so far, more than 11.5 million doses have been administered since December, has led to the decline in the number of infected people requiring hospital treatment. She said a third booster dose of the Sinopharm vaccine would be made available to all members of the public who received the second dose of the vaccine more than 6 months ago. But now, this is not something new because they had authorized it earlier to have a third dose and making it an extra care.
That's right. Yeah, the Sinopharm vaccine was actually authorized for general public use on December 9th, meaning many will be eligible for the extra dose from the end of next month. But priority, it will be given to the elderly and those with chronic illnesses. Now, Dr. Farid Al-Husseini said, as part of the state's proactive strategy to provide maximum protection for society, the door has been opened officially for the public to receive an additional supportive dose of Sinopharm vaccine for people who have received the vaccine previously and who have completed more than 6 months on the second dose. And those were the statements officially coming out from Dr. Farida Al-Husseini. Now, she's also said that it was important for adolescents to receive the vaccine to support the fight against the virus, because the UAE just recently approved the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for children aged between 12 and 15 on an emergency basis. That was last week it was approved. So your children aged between 12 and 15 now can get vaccinated with the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. The Ministry of Health and Prevention also said last Thursday the approval was given after the country carried out successful clinical trials and assessments. And according to Dr. Farida, she said this was considered a very significant step in fighting COVID-19 and protect those age categories. So that's just a step closer to reaching herd immunity.
That's right. And the Pfizer, in fact, was trialed for children within those age groups. And that is certainly in line with the approval as well. This was a trial that showed that it was safe and 100% effective within that age group as well. Going back to the Sinopharm shot, the World Health Organization did grant that shot emergency approval earlier this month. So this is also going to pave the way for millions of doses to reach needy countries through the UN-backed COVAX vaccine program, one that the United Arab Emirates is also set to play a role in, as it now has the manufacturing capability to develop its own doses of Sinopharm vaccine. So really great to see this moving ahead, and also the fact that everyone's going to be getting those booster shots and get that extra protection and sense of safety as well.
Yeah, that's going to be good because earlier it was stated that you, regardless of what happens, you will be taking the shot almost every year. That was the general sentiment. And following the emergence of cases in Seychelles, where you have Covishield and Sinopharm as the dominant vaccines, and even here in the United Arab Emirates, a lot of people do still complain, saying, "Oh, I was fully vaccinated and I still contracted the virus." Well, the thing is, all of the vaccines approved by the World Health Organization, neither vaccine is 100% effective against COVID-19. AstraZeneca claims a 76% efficacy, and Sinopharm has a high efficacy rate of 79%. But the fact is that they have a high 100% efficacy against severe or critical disease or even hospitalization. So that's the main idea of these vaccines, is to protect you from a tragic situation. So you can still contract the virus, but it's going to be either asymptomatic or very, very mild symptoms. But speaking of vaccines, yesterday we did a little bit of a trial. Rani is excited for her countdown.
That's right. I downloaded the app. It's called COVID-19 UAE app, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You just go in, and the first thing you see in front of you is either book your appointment or you find all the stats of COVID-19. So you just click book appointment, and then step by step, it's really self-explanatory. All you need with you is your ID, your Emirates ID, to fill in your Emirates ID number, and everything else is just it's basically just use the you book the date that you wish. Of course, it's after 24 hours from right now, and also you can just book the center that you wish that is of convenience to you. So it's really easy. I got mine yesterday. I booked mine. So my first COVID-19 shot will be tomorrow.
Amazing.
Well, looking forward to that. Yeah, but
it's like my experience after that.
Well,
next week.
We do need that experience on the airwaves for sure. Now, the thing is, guys, one thing we have to do is it is a bit of an inconvenience that you have to download an app and save it on the phone, wait till it's loaded, and etc., etc.
That's like the new norm.
It's the new norm anyway.
There's an app for everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's still much better and much more convenient than being held on the phone, on the answering machine,
exactly.
and then wait for the operator, then wait for the COVID-19 nurse, and then wait for the administration staff. It's a lot of hassle. Just get it done through the app. And even if you are a Dubai visa holder living in Dubai, then you can also go through the DHA app, and it's also convenient and easy to use depending on the centers. But yes, at the moment things are very busy. But a lot of people are hoping to get those jabs done, especially after those new regulations were announced, stating that it's your chance to attend weddings, but you have to be fully vaccinated. And that's the key word over there. Fully vaccinated also means 2 doses. And and it also says on your Al Husn app. And of course, we'll get more detailed and more little things will be ironed out as more clearer guidelines are issued. But so far at the moment, most hotel establishments and most venues are assuming they mean fully vaccinated. Stay with us on the morning Majlis. Up next, we talk to you about how you can be part of Sharjah Children's Reading Festival. If you're not willing to go down in person, then Sharjah Broadcasting Authority has you covered. What's going on? Right after the sports headlines.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis.
Hey, welcome back to the program. We've got big plans here for the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival, which kicks off today at the Expo Center, Sharjah. And we're going to have a big presence. The Sharjah Broadcasting Authority will be broadcasting from within the halls of the event, whose theme is For Your Imagination. Starting off with Sharjah TV, it's going to take viewers directly to the event, broadcasting live coverage of the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival opening, followed by the festival proceedings. Sharjah Radio will also broadcast a special program with the festival's theme, For Your Imagination. And guess what? Pulse 95 Radio is going to be there as well.
Oh, yes. We're all excited for this, gearing up for it for sure. And I'm a big fan of the SCRF. And I've just messaged Aisha Al-Mazmi and Michaela Thea saying, look, make sure that you get an appointment with Sarah and Rashid. I'm looking forward to meeting them. And those are the virtual characters and mascots of the Child Safety Department. Got to take a picture with them for sure. And we have a dedicated show live going on the airwaves of Pulse 95. So if you're not making it you're making way to the Expo Centre for the festival, you can join us. Tune in and be part of it. We'll be bringing the best of all authors. We'll be speaking to attendees. We'll be speaking to everyone. And if you would like to have your say and maybe get on Pulse 95, get a chance to be interviewed, just knock on the door of our studio and say, hey, I'm a listener and I'd like to be interviewed, and we'll definitely get you on board as well. It'll be great. And come on and say hello.
Absolutely. And this 11-day extravaganza, it will host a series of fun and educational workshops and activities to provide opportunities for children of all ages, really, to develop new creative and critical thinking skills in line with the festival's vision to expand the knowledge of the young generations. So I'm looking at the workshops here and the ideas and the activities that are going to be in the festival or taking place in the festival. That, of course, the festival is going to be running from 4 p.m. daily, except for Saturday from 10 a.m. But I'm looking at the lineup of things and activities, and they're just spectacular. You can discover fascinating robotics and AI during the robots session. Children, they can build and program robots using pieces of Lego. That's amazing. And another thing is, they can get creative with science, like learn how to mix chemical elements to change their atomic structure and observe the changes that occur in their appearance and properties in a workshop called Crazy Lab. So you can blend science and aesthetics in another workshop called Ocean Layers. That is to create a jar containing layers of the ocean decorated with shells. Another fun workshop that's going to be taking place as well is exploring the magic of the visual medium through the workshop We Make the Movies. And basically this workshop, it's designed to enhance movie making skills using stop motion technology. Another workshop related to this is called Amazing Photography, where children will learn how to use photography tricks to give pictures depth and also dimension. And they can also master the delights of arts and crafts and other workshops, because there will be a variety of creative and artistic activities, including the Art of Stars workshop, where the children will design a double-sided card featuring a magical night sky of stars. That's just to name a few, and the list goes on and on.
It's pretty incredible stuff, and the perfect place to bring your kids in there as well. You've got shows, plays, activities, reading halls, a wide array of books to browse through and get a lot of info out of, and entertainment. So it's a pretty packed agenda here. And if you'd like to learn more about the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival, it's taking place at the Expo Center Sharjah starting today. Head over to scrf.ae. That is scrf.ae. It's got the entire program as well as information on how to visit this thing. But we are pretty excited about covering this with Aisha and Mikhail later on today. I'm pretty sure they'll have a lot to talk about.
Oh yes, they're going to have a fun-filled show. They've had a fun-filled Ramadan for sure. Now they'll be given another treat to look forward to, is hosting from the Expo Center Sharjah. And
guess what?
Yes.
Kids, they love Aisha and Mikhail.
Do they?
They love them. I mean, and adolescents too.
Oh,
I have
wow.
one of my own, my niece. She's obsessed with them. She loves their show. And I said, I mean, you don't listen to my show? She's like, no. I listen to Aisha and Mikhail's show.
Wow.
So,
okay. Maybe it's the timings.
Sold by one of my own.
Yeah. I think what they should do is we should all be down there for sure. And this is going to be exciting time for everyone, indeed. Look, every parent is always confused about what to do with their children in terms of how to keep them entertained. Going down to this venue, free, and lots of space to run around and explore.
Exactly, yeah.
Just perfect. Just keep an eye out on them. Make sure that they are keeping their hands clean as well, because it is still a pandemic. But we're excited.
The venue is fully, taken care of.
Yeah, they're looking after it.
When it comes to safety, and when it comes to precautionary measures, when it comes to cleanliness and being disinfected.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
nothing to worry about there.
Looking forward to a fun-filled few weeks, in fact, and we will keep you posted about what's happening at the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival. We will be hearing from them tomorrow morning on the show in terms of how the first day is going to be taking place. If you are driving along the Taiwan Street, expect to see some form of delays and some traffic movement because the opening ceremony of the festival will be taking place in the morning, and then it's going to be open for the public. Opens its doors from 4 p.m. So exciting times indeed. It is going to be the focus. This is the Morning Majlis, only on Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis. It's the Morning Majlis.
Well, the UAE has ranked 18th out of 59 destinations in the world for expats to work and live abroad. That is according to a new survey by Global Network Internations. So the list was dominated by Asian and South American countries such as Taiwan, leading the ranking for the third year in a row, following Mexico, Costa Rica, Malaysia, and Portugal. And that is according to the Expat Insider 2021 study published yesterday. So the bottom cities for expats included actually Kuwait, Italy, and South Africa. The main points here measured in factors measured in the 7th edition of the survey of more than 12,000 expats included quality of life, ease of settling in, working abroad, personal finance, and also cost of living. Respondents also discussed how the COVID-19 situation and pandemic had impacted their life abroad, but these responses, they did not influence the overall ranking according to that report. But according to the co-founder and co-chief executive of Internations, he said that expats consider the UAE to be a peaceful, safe, and stable country with a lot of travel opportunities and a good transportation infrastructure. And he said most are also very happy with the quality of medical care here in the UAE as well. Lastly, the UAE is an ideal destination for expats who are also worried about the language barrier, because most expats, they find it easy to get by without speaking the local language as well.
Yeah, this country is notable for being safe and for a great healthcare system as well, especially when it comes to vaccines during the COVID crisis. The ease and free of access of those vaccines is quite remarkable. The experts speaking to media relating to the story spoke about how you got to keep up with your finances if you're living here, because it can be challenging for some people who are left with less disposable income than the rest, and advised that you should probably spend 50% of your income towards housing, food, and bills, while 30% on things like restaurants or entertainment, and 20% towards your investment.
Savings.
Yeah, the 50-30-20 rule, they call it. And if you're living in a fast-paced, glamorous country such as this one, it's something definitely to keep in mind for you to manage your money.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why GCC countries were below the rankings of 12 in fact is because of the cost of living. But the other aspect I would say is the Gulf countries have been more expats than the indigenous population.
The nationals.
Yeah. And I don't know many people who would be members of Internations. I literally do not know. I can understand why Internations is very famous in our countries such as Bangladesh, such as in Pakistan, such as other places where you have a few, or a less of an expat population, and then Internations where you can get to meet the expats and you don't really see them. But a country like the United Arab Emirates, I don't think you need to be part of an organization to make friends. You can just literally walk out your door and you've got an expat in front of you. So I think along those lines. So that's one of the reasons why I see a lot of Internations members might not have voted in for the United Arab Emirates and would have voted in for whichever country they're living in. But yeah, it's that is out there, and it eventually comes down to how you manage your money. But most of the expats love the peaceful nature of the United Arab Emirates for sure, and I think that is the biggest selling point. I've been fortunate enough to have traveled to a lot of countries and cities. The fact that you can literally walk out in the United Arab Emirates, drop your wallet and walk around and come back, you'll still find your wallet there. No one's going to take it away from you.
Safety.
Exactly, and
Security is a big
true.
thing.
In countries such as even the UK, you walk out. If you have a lot of cash in your wallet, your credit cards, you'll still be very careful about where you've put it because someone not so very friendly could pop up in the middle of the night anywhere.
There's something addicting about this nation, this country, to be honest, because as a person who has lived in multiple places before, I've lived in the Middle East and I've lived in the United States of America, and I'm living now in the Gulf, let's say, the Gulf region here, particularly in the UAE. People tell me, why don't you just go back? You have a chance to go back to the States, to the United States. And I said, I can't because I'm so addicted to the life here and the lifestyle here and the ease of access to everything you want. Everything, anything you want when it comes to leisure, when it comes to work, when it comes to living, every single aspect here.
We just booked our vaccine.
Exactly. Everything here is, and people really do envy us.
Yeah.
Everyone. I have friends from all over the world, literally I do, living everywhere, living in the United States, living in Europe, living in the Middle East, living in South Asia even. And they're always telling me like, oh, you live in the UAE, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
Everyone, they all find the UAE something wow. It's a wow factor for everyone. To be honest, I'm still kind of shocked to see that the UAE is not on the top 10 countries for expats to work and live. Because it's always the first country in mind when you ask anyone abroad, where do you want to live? If you didn't live where you are, they will say, I want to live in the UAE.
Yeah.
It's like their dream.
Yeah.
But like I'm looking at the list of top 10 countries for expats to work and live. So number one, as we said, for the third year in a row, it's Taiwan, apparently, according to the survey. And second one is Mexico. For some reason, that's surprising me.
Very surprised.
Yeah. Third one is Costa Rica. Fourth is Malaysia. I'm thinking Malaysia is because it's very affordable. And they have nice nature.
Yeah. Very diverse country.
Right.
Country,
yeah. Also, number 5 is Portugal. Number 6 is New Zealand. Number 7, Australia. Number 8 is Ecuador. 9, Canada. I can see that as well. Number 10 is Vietnam. I'm just surprised for some reason. The UAE, I mean, I'm telling you, it should be in the top 10.
I'm very surprised. I mean, it's a country,
peacefulness?
They like to call themselves as
They're
land.
very calm.
Yeah.
Which country?
Canada,
yeah.
They're very calm.
They call
they're
themselves
very peaceful people.
Yeah.
They do call themselves the land of the refugees, for example.
Right,
Or the land of migrants, not refugees.
Right.
But I can understand on that front. But yeah, very strange. But yeah, that's what it is. Those are the top nations. And I mean, my theory still stands that I think there's not many members of internations in the United Arab Emirates to have voted for the UAE. But that's the case for the time being. Do drop us a text on 4215 what you like about the UAE. Why have you lived in the UAE for this long? And what makes you proud to call it your second home. Guys, it's now time for us to pave the way for more musical entertainment as we prepare to head down to the Sharjah Expo Centre for the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival. But people can catch up with our conversation somewhere.
Yes, certainly you could catch us on our podcast pages on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcast. Just type Morning Majlis in the search bar. We're also going to be uploading videos live on our YouTube channel at Pulse 95 Radio, so make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you all for tuning in to today's show and joining us via the text lines. Hope to see you again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Until then, stay tuned to Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.
Pulse.